Omar is now behind bars after trying to flee authorities. He was wanted for more than $3 million in alleged Medicaid fraud.
$3 million.
Here's some of the other defendants. Prosecutors say Shamso Ahmed Hassan submitted more than $40 million in fraudulent claims to Medicaid for autism treatment services that were fake or not necessary.
And the allegation is you have all of this crime happening where Ilhan Omar is the elected representative who's met with some of these individuals and is being implicated by some of these individuals. It's just wild that this was all going on. And now that it gets exposed, everyone's outraged. Even though we're just starting to discover how much criminality actually took place here, we're still learning about more crime.
They also say Fahima Muhammad fraudulently obtained millions of dollars from child care services and programs that were supposed to feed children.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
7 different state-managed Medicaid programs that have been systematically pilfered by fraudsters who treated Minnesota-run programs as their personal piggy bank.
Today's arrests represent the largest autism fraud bust in American history.
Medicaid is the fundamental payer of last resort for our most needy, most vulnerable citizens.
Yeah.
And when we're unable to keep these programs alive because of fraudsters, it hurts all of us.
Right, so there are real people at the other end of this who were supposed to get this money and couldn't because it was being given to scammers for beach vacations. Scammers who allegedly donated to politicians that turned a blind eye. That's the allegation.
I think it does seem like the tip of the iceberg, and here's why. Because we know how pervasive this fraud was, particularly in Minnesota, but probably other places as well, and how many politicians may have either turned a blind eye or even possibly been complicit in it for political reasons. But what's important about this is when you look at fraud schemes or any other federal cases with multiple defendants, there are 2 types of defendants in criminal court. There are those that cooperate and those that ultimately wish they did. So you're going to have lots and lots of people cooperating. So they will be able to not only expand these, but also get more details about who's involved, particularly in the state level. So yes, it's going to be massive. It's going to be big. But one of the other things that's really important that they're doing by bringing so much attention, meaning the Trump administration, to this issue, there's a massive deterrent value because people want to, if you're a criminal, you want to commit crimes you're going to get away with.
And now that's not happening. And the fact that people are actually getting charged, people are actually going to jail, that bodes well for justice in America. That is going to be a huge deterrent for people that think that just because somebody that they are potentially well connected with is in office, it has got the broom and can sweep everything under the rug, that's not good enough anymore. Because if your president's not in the White House, well, guess what? Someone might come looking for all the fraud. Somebody might come looking for all the criminal activity. And we actually need to see real people who've stolen from America and stolen from children and stolen from those who are in need punished for it, because if that doesn't happen, this whole thing is going to keep happening. No consequences is the biggest incentive for people to keep doing this.
And now they're not going to think they're going to get away with it, or certainly not as easily at this point.
Such a great point. But one thing I don't understand is the following. Look, I get in Minnesota, so many Democrat politicians buried their head in the sand, even though they knew that fraud was happening right under their nose, because they didn't want to lose the Somali vote. We know that. That is well documented. But in the other 49 states where this fraud in many instances was rampant as well, was known as well.
California, New York.
Why did Democrats not do anything about it when they were in charge of these states? For the sheer reason that Democrats are always touting the importance of these Medicaid, Medicare programs for those who need it.
Well, that's because the allegation is these programs are set up with very few checks and balances, very loose regulations. The excuse in Minnesota was, well, we had so many people in need and we're so generous, we needed to set these things up right away and give the money out and just hope that it went to the right place. Well, what that allowed criminals to set up these businesses that got that money, take that money, and then guess who those criminals support? Do you think those criminals support a justice system that is going to come after them? No, they support a justice system that will help them create new businesses and new opportunity. And it sounds so great. Oh, we're going to expand this coverage. We're going to make it possible to have city-run daycares all over the place and this and that all over the place. And we're going to help people set up these businesses. And oh, we're so caring. We're so kind. But really, it's just a big program that enables scammers, and nobody actually gets the help they need because the money's disappearing.
Why didn't they step in and save these programs that they're always touting the need to fund at the highest level and to expand these programs to everybody? It doesn't make sense why they didn't do anything.
Unless it's a business.
This is why blocking spam calls never stopped them.
What do you mean? It's not just some random caller?
No. When your phone...
That is such a great point. If these programs in and of themselves are so valuable to the community, why don't they step in? Because they supposedly are using them to help people.
They're not.
And it begs the question, are the programs in themselves, just the money in the programs and other things, what the Democrats actually are looking for? Because that is money to the communities that they think will vote for them, as opposed to the care that they say they want out of these programs. So that is such an interesting question. I mean, some of it is probably just negligence. People weren't paying attention. Some of it people didn't know.
And you know something? If you're a politician and you love money and you've got a program that has been set up and people are filling out the paper, they're applying for it, and then they're getting the money, and then those people show up at your campaign event and they donate and they get out there on a megaphone and they talk about how great you are for the community and how many people you're saving and how you're having such a great impact, it's gonna be pretty hard to put that person in jail, isn't it? Especially if you know that as you help them open more businesses, your campaign will benefit. You see, this is how the corruption and the money sweep in, even if the politician's not in league with the bad guys, which some people think a lot more than that was going on in Minnesota.
The House Oversight Committee referring the House Ethics Committee to investigate far-left Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. It concerned a controversial change to her financial disclosures that dramatically cut her family's reported wealth. Mike Coben has more on this. What you find out, Mike? Hello.
Bill, Minnesota Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has been referred to the U.S. House Ethics Committee to look into the matter of her personal finances. We've talked about this before. Financial disclosures show that the estate of the Minnesota Congresswoman jumped from almost nothing to $30 million while in office. Then amid all the scrutiny over her personal finances, Omar and her husband updated their financial disclosure to state that their estate was worth less than $100,000.
So the red flags here are the timing. It's not a big deal if you're a politician that is benefiting from crime and corruption to accurately disclose the amount that corruption has allegedly benefited you if your guy's in the White House, your guy's the governor, and no one's ever gonna check. But what happens? Trump comes in, Biden's not in the Oval Office anymore, and now the net worth drops. There's all these investigations. It all happens at the same time. It looks fishy, man.
Congresswoman blamed the $29 million discrepancy on an accounting mistake that did not subtract the liabilities from her husband's business. Republican Minnesota State Representative Chris...
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to stop it right there. So because her husband's business had $30 million of income and they forgot to subtract the $29 million in liabilities, they got the wrong number. So I would like to see some proof of those liabilities. There's a lot of weird things.
Fathomable that she would have two such disparate forms from her financial disclosures. One saying she's worth up to $30 million. The other one saying she's worth less than $100,000. The math just doesn't work, and they need to get to the bottom of it.
Now, Omar sponsored the 2020 Meals Act, which the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and Oversight Committee had been investigating this legislative session. The Republican Majority Committee determined that the Meals Act removed the guardrails on a program called Feeding Our Future.
And that's what people think was done on purpose. They think it was done on purpose to remove these guardrails so that the scam could just be turbocharged.
Intended to feed poor children during the pandemic. Prosecutors now say that program was defrauded to the tune of $250 million. Representative Omar did not cooperate with the committee, and Republicans lacked the votes to force her to cooperate. Now, Amy Bach, the woman convicted as the ringleader in the Feeding Our Future scandal, told the New York Post she struggles to believe Omar would not have known about the massive fraud enabled by the Meals Act.
And that's the thing that everybody keeps pointing to. How does this happen? How do you meet with the people involved in this? How do you get your picture taken with some of them? And you don't know anything. And how does your net worth go way up and then there's no problem, and then it goes way down. Like, that's crazy. There's a lot of bizarre things happening over here. What do you think's going on? Is this a political conspiracy led by Trump to get rid of somebody that he doesn't like, or is there actual crime going on here? Should more people be convicted? I'll see you in the next video.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello,